Around about the middle of December, there's a lot of snow in Sioux Lookout. That's up here in northern Ontario. Some people say that's all there is. It's just snow and trees and lots of fresh air. And it gets real cold. But if you were to talk to Fishy, that's E.L. Legros, with the wife and the kids out there by the lake about 18 miles from town, well, he'd tell you this is the place to live, right out here in the wilderness. And when Christmas comes around, well, it's really something. Now, there's a lot I could tell you about Fishy. He's really quite a guy, but I'd have a hard time getting a word in. He's a real talker himself.
In the summer, boys. Summer, this is paradise. Let's face it. People just, when they come to visit, this is the country. Oh, they love the summer, but they can't see us living here in the winter. And yet we can find just as much beauty in summer. And if you like the outdoors, you can find more beauty in the winter than you can in the summer. You take a nice still night, moonlight night, you can hear the frost penetrating the trees, you hear the trees snapping. You can just stand outside and admire it. Living here, like with raising a family, it's you wonder if you're doing the right thing sometimes, you know. Say, well, in my case with the 6 children, of course they're growing up now, but we've been away from the Sioux, which is the bigger town close to us, now for 9 years. So they're living in a different environment entirely. The children always seem happy, and yet they don't seem deprived of anything because they're not living in town or in a bigger center. There's so much to do here. And I think that as long as they're happy, I'm happy too. It's natural. If the children are happy, the parents got to be happy. But let's face it, we wouldn't be here if we didn't like the outdoors. Oh, yes, Christmas. I can remember when I was in that age that I just counting the days. Just counting the days. We've always had the privilege at Christmas time, and that was a big treat. Take the sleigh or an old toboggan and make a hike of it. My nephews, a lot of my relatives, about my age, some of them close to my age, and away we go on a Saturday, you know, and we'd go for, maybe 1.5 miles. We didn't have to go too far to be in the bush to pick up a tree. That would, nobody else went for a tree. That was our chore. That wasn't a chore, it was we planned it. We looked forward to that.
Well, nothing much has changed, Fishy. The kids still get a big kick out of getting that Christmas tree. One thing for sure, with the woods right at your back door, you're never going to run short of trees, or Christmases either.
Where you found the tree, Juan?
Right here. You guys have to get up here. Get out of the road. Get up here.
You know, there's something about that sound. The sharp crack of the axe as it splinters the crisp, hard wood.
Be careful, you're right in the jaw. These muscles in the jaw.
As was, we wanted to go out and get the tree, and we dragged that tree all the way home and do all the decorating ourselves. Parents never touched the tree. You know, that was it. That was the thrill.
They didn't have any ski-doos in Fishy's day, or in my day either. When we talk about dragging a tree home, we really mean dragging it. All the same, we could have had a lot of fun with one of those ski-doos.
Take her in. Yeah.
I'll go clean up
Balls
the box.
Now you got the tree, and it's a big one, and it's a beauty, too. Where are you going to put it? Might have to knock a hole in the roof.
Hold it, ice cream.
It's too big.
We know. Hold it.
You have to cut this down. Measure it.
See how much you think it is.
Well, sure, now watch. Just rip everything. Oh, sure, we're gonna chop it now. Get the broom and measure it. Wait, just let me get a measure. You should have cut it.
You should cut it higher.
And I love the tree. I hated to see the tree being taken out.
Bravo.
That tree could have stayed there all winter, as far as I was concerned. There was so much happiness about a Christmas tree. That's the way I can still remember it. You know, that's the way it struck me. I hated the day. It was a sad day when the tree was coming down.
I think we better take a little bit more off the top.
No, off the bottom. Boy.
5:30. Sometimes morning seems to come awful fast.
Living out in the farm in this part of the country has its drawbacks, all right, during the winter months especially. I'm located 14 miles from Sioux Lookout, and you have the inconvenience. We don't have the hydro here, and we're not set up with our own generating plant yet. We hope to be someday. So you can actually see that during the cold spell of the midwinter that we do have some problems. Problems such as getting your vehicle started in the wintertime. When it's 35, 40, maybe 50 below at times. And we have to take extra precautions, you might say, over and above the daily routine in other parts of the district. I have to maybe go up around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, start the truck up and let it heat up nice, you know. I have a garage, but I don't have it heated. Heated garage can also give you problems, condensation and whatnot. So the garage isn't heated, but it provides a windbreak for the vehicle. And I have my tractors in there as well, the farm tractors. It's all under one roof. But I'll go up there maybe, before we go to bed, you know. Start the truck up, let it heat up. Maybe throw a tarp over the hood, try to keep some of the heat in a bit. And a lot of little tricks like choking the motor, just instead of turning the ignition off, choke it so that there's fumes in your cylinders, you know, and hold them fumes in there. Then you take the battery out, bring it down to the house. A little inconvenience there, carry the battery down. And then when I go up there in the morning with a warm battery, been in the house all night, put it in there, there's a good chance she's going to fire.
It's about 35 below zero this morning, right here on the main street of Sioux Lookout. Most people staying inside, close to the fire, but it'll warm up, especially down at the barber shop when Fishy gets going.
I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe you've got to be born in the city and brought up in that atmosphere to say that you like the city. Being born here in Sioux Lookout and in the bush, let's face it, we're in the bush. I can't see anything else. I have traveled around a bit when I was in the services, been across the country pretty well in other countries, but I still feel that this is the country, this type of living. And, well, you know, when you're in the services, you get in there, you got to be used to a lineup. You line up for your meals, you line up for your mail, you line up for your pay. And to me, when you visit the city, you're right back into the Army or the Air Force or the Navy. You're lining up all the time. No matter where you go, you're being pushed or shoved. And not that I haven't lived in the city for any real length of time, maybe 6 months, but I certainly can't adapt myself to that type of living. It's like I say, I think you have to be almost raised in the city and have that atmosphere around you, you know, where you don't notice these things. But me, why, I like the bush. I like lots of room. I like the water. And I got to see water. That's why I'm living by the lake. And that's why the reason why I'm living where I am, right out in the country, and living that type of life along with the agricultural end of it, you know.
Hey, don't cut it all off, Fishy, for God's sake.
What do you mean?
What like you did here last time around?
Oh, you mean up on top here?
Yeah.
Did I do that?
You sure did.
Well, I didn't mean to do it.
You killed that fatted goose, Fishy, for New Year's.
Pardon?
You killed that fatted goose for New Year's.
Haven't made the kill yet, but it's coming pretty close. Coming pretty close.
How many you got now?
We got 9. I'm going to dispose of a few, you know, people around to want fresh killed geese, but not that I'm going this thing commercially, you know, but we're going to keep one for ourselves. Well, I think I better cut out the cutting here. I'm running out of hair. Well, you're all set. You don't need a haircut until next year.
Next year. Well, thank you very much.
Once a year.
Once a year. Well, I comb my hair once a year only, you know.
Okay.
Thank you much.
You got any small toboggans done? The short ones?
Yeah, we got them, yeah.
5 days to Christmas. Short lunch today, Fishy. Grab a quick bite, meet the wife at the store, and do a little Christmas shopping.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, we got a couple there. How many children? You have 6? You want 6 toboggans?
Oh, no, just 2.
Okay, we
2
got
for the younger boys.
Okay, fine. Okay. Sure.
Well, maybe we take this chess and put the checkers in there. Because I can't play chess, but I can play checkers, and you got to give them a little competition, you see.
That's all right.
Well,
They'll soon teach you
that doesn't fit. No.
They'll teach you to play chess, Fish, and then you can...
I guess a checker
Well,
player has a
today
much
that's
chance against a chess player, eh?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Not the way they talk.
There we are.
You mean,
Are you open late tonight, Don?
yes, we are. We're open at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Well, maybe we could drop in after I'm through work, eh? And pick this
We
stuff up.
sort it all up. We'll have it in the box ready for you.
Okay.
You,
All right, all I have to do now is pay for this, eh?
all you have to do is pay for it. Yeah.
Okay. Bring us a minute now. We got 2 toboggans. We're going to pick up that truck with all those. They could share that toy.
They don't fight. Well, if they got the bottoms, they should.
Well, you've only got presents for 3 children. Now you got 3 more to go.
Yeah, the girls, what can you buy girls?
I think we'll have to stick to clothes or something.
Hair dryers.
Yeah, something.
No electricity.
You have no
electricity.
Yeah.
For country folks, you know.
Now, there's something else about Fishy. He's the best drummer we've got around here. Often he stays in town to play with Elmer and George and Cecil and all the boys in the band over at the Moose Hall. He puts on a real show. Everybody around here knows Fishy. He's got more friends than you could shake 2 sticks at.
With New Year's coming up, what's 69 going to bring? Well, you can tie yourself down to a lot of firm resolution, but we're not that type. We don't really have any resolutions, because we know in our mind what we'd like to do the following year. And basically speaking, our plans here is to improve our home, improve the homestead. When I took over this homestead from a man that worked hard, he established it when there wasn't, he walked into this part of the country with an axe, picked up a horse. Everything was done with horsepower. I mean horsepower, manpower, and dynamite. That's how they cleared the land here. Now I took it over from this old gentleman. He lived his life, he did the best he could. He cleared lots of land, about 50 acres of land. And I want to improve again over that. I want to improve this homestead, and I think I'm doing it. And I feel that, well, it's my ambition. And if you got no ambition, well, I probably wouldn't even be here anyway. And, oh, I don't know. Again, living out here, you talk about happiness, we'll say. Well, we're no different than anyone else. I mean, you know, like raising a family and trying to be happy. You have your happy moments and you have your unhappy moments. It's not very, you don't feel very happy about having to take the belt off and give them a couple of good whacks. And don't think I don't do it. Mind you, I didn't get any when I was a kid. But not that I'm any smarter than my own children. But I learned quick. My father didn't have to give me a spanking, simply because I saw him administer a spanking to my older brother. And I said, I don't want any part of that. So, you see, what I mean is I picked it up pretty quick, see? But still, in all, they're happy. I mean, they pitch in, children are good. They pitch in, and they help. And when we need to help, it's there. But they have enough freedom. They have all the freedom they want. They're not being hard done by any means.
Let me tell you, they're great kids. They've got a lot of spirit, you know, like their dad. They kind of know who they are.
Uh-oh. Somebody step there.
Now take Vaughn, the eldest boy. He's 17 now. He wants to go to college, be a vet. And talk about being soft-hearted, the Legros family has a hard time when it comes to killing the goose for Christmas, especially the one this year, a family favorite called Cassius.
The day came and Dad had to do the job again.
Dad never did it. Mom did. Well, anyhow, nobody else wanted to do it, so somebody had to do it.
No one wanted to do the executing anyway. It was finally, I guess, Mum and Terry, they tried to get me to do it. And I don't know what happened. I don't recall exactly how I got away out of that job. But I don't know if it was intentional or not. But anyway, they ended up by disposing of the bird. This seems cruel, Vaughn. But I'll tell you, it's going to taste pretty good in the pan. Those are things we got to do on the farm.
Well, finally it's here, the last day of school.
Judy, Harry, Dwayne, Mark, come on, you got to be ready. The bus might be a little early. Get up right away.
If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. You can hear the whistle blow. 500 miles, 500 miles, 500 miles, 500 miles, 500 miles. You can hear the whistle
children, you know, like getting the education living out here. They're getting a lot of education, eh? Let's face it. They're learning something. I would say they have an advantage over a lot of town or city people because they're also learning in school. We have a good bus service here. Our school setup is very good. We have no complaints. They're getting their education in town. Some of them are going to high school, some of them to elementary school. But they're also getting an education how to live in the outdoors. Whether they know it or not, they will know it later on. Let's face it, when they get older, they're going to look back, they're going to know something about living in the outdoors. That is, living not exactly in the wilderness, but living closer to nature, and probably a lot of people don't have that chance. I'd like them to continue their education and carry on in school as far as they possibly can go. I don't know how they'll all end up financially. I don't think I'm in a position to send my children to university. I don't know what, we'll cross those bridges when we get to them, but I don't know how that's going to work out yet. And I'd like them to go as far as possible, because the way things are today generally speaking, you've got to have an education, let's face it, to get ahead and keep up with the way things are progressing. You've got to get all the education you can possibly receive. And we've had no problem in school. We don't have to argue with them, or they're not bucking us in any way as far as attending school and trying to do their best.
Silver bells, it's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, ring-a-ling, hear the ring, soon it will be Christmas Day. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow, at a 2 or 4 a go, with my bonny brother by my side.
Well, boys are all right. Some of them. But I mostly go out with the boys I want to go out with. Except a few that my brother pushes me into and teases me about. But I think that dating out here, 14 miles, that's why one reason why I don't like living out here, because the boy last year, where do you live? 50 miles from Silicon. What? You know, when they look at you, I'm not going to waste 30 miles of gas just for you, you know. Well, they don't say that, but I can tell, you know. So I just say, well, if you don't want to waste gas on me, you don't have to come get me then. And I go out with somebody else.
That's Jackie. She's 16, the eldest girl. Now, the way I look at it, any red-blooded boy would gladly drive 136 miles and run out of gas to see Jackie.
New masks are the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The kids have been saving up for Christmas presents all year. $28.64. School's out early, and they have plenty of time to find something nice for each other and for Mom and Dad.
9, and then we just need 50 cents.
And
Okay, now take it.
Go get change for Hold it, if we all put in 25 cents.
Okay, if we all put in 25.
Just put in $1 and then split up the change.
Okay.
Here, put in.
Well, I think we better take
put in
the
$1.
This thing's so breakable.
Oh, we got enough. Okay, we've got $2 left to get each other a gift bit.
Okay, and we'll all separate.
Okay, but we only got $9. Don't take it right now.
Well, why not? Somebody else might take it.
What do you want Santa Claus to bring you? Eh? Tell me. When I get my reindeer, I go and get them. Eh? Drum. Can you play the drum? Oh, that's good. Where are you going now?
There's Mark, 5 years old, and he's kind of a loner. He likes to wander off by himself and make his own decisions. He knows his mother likes chocolates. Now, if he can find something for his older brother Vaughn while he's at hockey practice.
Vaughn, I guess I started hockey when we lived in Superior. It was next door neighbors. They had 2 boys. We built a rink by the river. That winter we skated. We were only 8 years old then. We fooled around all that winter. The next year we went to join the Pee Wee League in Sioux and got on a team for 1 game, and then they put us up to Bantam because we were only 9 years old then, but we were too good for the Pee Wees. We had learned how to skate and they didn't know how, so we had to play with 15 and 16-year-olds. We won the championship the next year. We beat my dad's team. He was coaching the Bruins. We were on the Maple Leafs. We beat him. We used to fight all the time over whose team was the best. But I think I won. I think it's everybody's dream to become a hockey star. But I mainly played for fun. I love the game. But the only thing I look forward to out here.
Fishy's like most fathers, I guess. He'd be real proud if his eldest boy took over the homestead someday with his own wife and family. But it's not something you count on or try to force. All you want is what's best for the boy. Now it's almost Christmas. Vaughn returns from the woods where he's been checking the trap lines.
Have any luck? What's the matter? What kind of a set have you got there?
I got a pole set.
Pole set. Now, how deep is the water there?
4 feet.
4 feet. Oh, did it touch the bait
Hey,
at all?
Vaughn, you better go over to Auntie's and get the fruitcake. Mom wants it.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna bring the boat.
Hey, Fishy, don't tell me you leave the icebox open to let the cold in.
Midnight Mass.
Hey?
We're going to midnight Mass.
Oh, it's mine?
Yeah. And when we'll drive you around like we did last year after Mass. You'll be able to see all the nice houses lit up.
Are you sure that Auntie June's coming down tomorrow?
Yeah, she's coming down.
That's good.
To hear Mommy, I didn't want to go with me.
Why, Mark?
Maybe you'll be able to catch a glimpse of Santa riding through the sky in his reindeer.
You'll be able to watch for him.
I saw him once, you know. Well, you'd so.
When she went to midnight Mass, she saw him.
Don't you have to rise these first? Oh, that's
No. Pies.
I thought it was the buns. I think I better go and get some fruit.
Kathleen, you get the onions out of the drawer, and then I'll start that dressing for that goose. We gotta have that ready in about an hour from now. We should be putting it in the oven.
What are the onions? Oh, I see that.
For a little guy, Mark sure likes to take on a man-sized job. When you don't have electricity, you need a big woodpile.
Well, the pies are done. The buns are done.
What next? Just this goose?
Just this goose, and that's... I'm gonna hurry up. We're gonna go in about an hour to leave for Mass.
Do you think that turkey's big enough for...
Oh, I think we'll have enough with the goose and pies and everything.
We can't put in that rock because it'll slide out.
Well, that's good.
Mark and Dwayne? Yeah? Why don't you boys behave yourself at church now?
Fishy couldn't get all the kids in the pickup truck, so he borrowed a car, and it got stuck in a snowbank about 4 miles from town, so it was a few minutes before midnight when he got all the family to church. Well, it wasn't exactly a church. It was the town hall that had been fixed up for a special Christmas service. They were just about the last family to get there.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. And I hope that Mark, Terry, Judy, Jackie, Vaughn, Mommy, Daddy all get nice gifts. And I hope I do too.
Look out, here they come. A fella could get trampled on.
Come on, Judy, I got the same cards as you got last year.
I know what you guys got.
Very funny.
Jackie.
Oh boy. Oh, what am I got? Ah, it feels something. Oh boy. Yes. Ah. Oh, silly buddy.
Maria, I thought I got a pink
That's what I got. I got everything. I don't need one. I'll use it later. Oh, I got some nuts.
What's that like for you? Not bad.
Hey, hey, hey. Oh. I need another one. Harry, I got the same thing as you. Rex, when everything seems to be, I don't.
Boy, you talk about some lucky kid. Santa Claus, God, look at the Santa Claus. Don't open the parcels, kids, till Mom brings in the box there for the papers.
Look at the gifts. Look at that car.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Whose car is this here?
Mine. That's mine. Well, that's Mark. Mine's on
There's Mark.
I like that. That's the kind of car I'm gonna get.
Man, oh, man.
Yeah, I like those. Whoa.
Mark, you gotta pick all
Look
these
at
up.
that,
All the
Mommy.
papers in the box here, eh?
Get all these picked up, and then we can start opening the gifts, okay?
Listen. My drum. I bet it is. I bet it is too. I don't think so now. I do. That's a drum right in here. A drum.
This hasn't got to anybody. I taped it. It started to sing.
Lady, you can't come in here and be cranky. Oh, isn't that nice? Thank you, Judy and Terry. Welcome.
For the tree with the Santa Claus didn't mark your name on that one.
Or are you gonna bite yourself?
You put it back on the street, will you?
It might be mine.
Here, Dad. You got one there for me? Pretty hard to tell, eh?
Like it, Mom?
Terry, and then he won't be in the way, Terry.
A kaleidoscope.
Aren't you gonna guess? Well, I'd like to try and know. I was thinking of liquids of after smoking. Oh, damn well I don't smoke.
He doesn't have his name on it.
Just open it from this side. What kind of a parcel is it?
Oh, now there's the find out.
Oh, man.
Cat reworks.
So you're afraid I'm going to get lost in the bushes. Hey, isn't that nice? Look at that, eh?
Oh, isn't that?
Sure, Dad. I'm just find out.
I like that one. Pretty nice, pretty nice.
Daddy, how'd you like your tranquilizer?
Pretty nice compass.
Here, I think I found the drumsticks.
Here, Mark.
Two more. That's the drumsticks. I feel them. It has to be. This is underneath. What's that called? What? What's this?
Here, Mom. Here's some drum.
Well, you found the sticks, eh? What?
What's it?
Give us the food on there, eh?
It's got a motor inside it.
Real sticks, too. Hey,
What's
Jackie.
this, Dad?
Who's this to, Terry? You?
Give us a tune on there. I want to hear it.
Come on, drummer boy.
So what's that?
Oh, God, is that ever nice?
You can't play it, eh? God, eh? Visitors, of course, some of my relatives, they have big families, and it's like this last Christmas, like yesterday, we had visitors, my brother-in-law and his wife and his children, 6 children, so when we all get together, you gotta have a good time. There's so many of us.
Merry Christmas! Wow. Hi! Hi, Pete. Hi, Belle. Hello, Tina. Hi, Joanne.
Rolled out, eh?
Go get Tina her presents, Dwayne.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Santa Claus got something for you. Peter, Santa Claus got
Now
something
you
for
can
you.
open your presents.
Santa Claus.
Look at that, look at that. Oh, boy. Oh, she's getting it now. Okay, I got the string. All right.
Dwayne, get Mark, get out of there.
Who knows all?
What is it?
Show everybody, Tina.
Show everybody what you got.
Aw, isn't that cute?
Aw.
What are you gonna call him, Tina?
I don't know. Call him Campbell.
Now for some fun with the new toboggans. I bet there are kids watching this show on TV who wish they could be out here playing around in the snow with Fishy's gang. Hey, where you going, drummer boy?
Bless us, O Lord, these I guess which we are about to receive. In Christ our Lord, amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Well, let's get cracking. Come on, let's have some tofu. Where's Gary? You cut the turkey. I'll cut the mustard on this.
I want some cashews. I don't want.
Now let me tell you something else about Fishy. When he invites you to his house for a meal, you'd better be hungry. He really knows how to look after you. That old table is just piled high with all kinds of good things to eat. Cranberry, turkey, minced tarts and homemade bread, fresh butter, turnips, sweet potatoes and deep apple pie, and of course, roast goose. Bernice's son cook.
If that fellow on TV could see me, what's his name? That cook there? If he could see me cutting this now, he'd have fits.
He'd come to you for lunch.
That guy makes me hungry every time I watch him.
Pass me the butter, Peter. Karen, you don't like potatoes, so pass them on.
It's okay. We're going to have something.
And John says, isn't that beautiful? Hey, is there any gravy? Isn't that right, Pierre? Beautiful, beautiful.
The wine. Hey, Jackie, pour the glasses for everyone, eh? And that's it. There's no refills for the wine for you children.
Oh, boy, I'm really gonna
That's it. You just nurse that one alone. This is, we don't need all of that once a year, you know. No, this is your glass. Give me oh, I need one. I need a big one. Well, I'll tell you one. A little more. Don't be shy. That's fine. That's fine.
That's why.
Ah, boy. That does it, eh?
Watch this. No one opens a wine bottle quite like Fishy.
Geez, I got a bigger bit than that, but...
Yeah, well, that's...
Well, you just watch this. Ingenuity here. You got to go in on the angle, see?
Hey, you're going through the glass there.
That's all right. We'll get them all one way there.
Hey, oh, you're going to have a...
What the hell? We got her made?
You're going to have wine full of cork there, a cork full of wine or something.
A little tonic?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Look at that stuff working. Look at that. Oh, look at the pop.
Always lots of laughing and singing and dancing, real good times whenever you go to Fishy's.
Time that we had cows, the children were always very curious about how they had their little ones and just really what took place. So last spring we told them that when their cow Bess had her calf, everybody would be able to witness this big affair. So we got up, and it happened to be on a Sunday morning that Beth started to look like she was going to do her business, and we cleaned her all up and had her bag all washed, and she was just going to be like a queen in her stall there. Well, they waited around, the fishing gear, and got tired waiting. They went out and did a little bit of fishing. Well, this little bull we have here, he is part Hereford, and he has the white face, but he has got one red ring around his eye. And when she finally got far into having her calf, he came right to the door, and it was warm in the barn, so we had it jarred open a bit. He couldn't get in, but he could see in. And through all this excitement, every time we'd look up, we'd see him there with his one red eye peeking through the door, you know. And just at the time when her little calf was born, he let out an awful beller out of him, and it was really, we laughed so hard at him, you know. It was really so cute. And he was huffing and puffing outside, and the kids, my sister and I, we just laughed till the tears rolled down our cheeks. This silly little bull, figuring he was part of the whole operation, you know. It was really a lot of fun. I think that that's partly what makes you like it out here is the animals. I'm sure if we didn't have them, I wouldn't be here, because there wouldn't be the interest, you know. When they have their little ones and when the geese have theirs and at their mating season, it makes it what it is. Otherwise, it would be empty.
Merry Christmas, old friend, and the very best kind of New Year.